the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
Yes, so we can't be too blamey
Not too blamey.
of Ronnie because
little gamey.
she was helping me out. I was rushing out from a phone call to handle important business matters.
It's been.
How many of you heard that and immediately started singing along? That has got to be the most recognizable beginning of a song.
It is.
At least in my lifetime.
In our generation. Because there's no music behind it. It's just a man's voice.
It's been.
Yes. And so when you hear
1 week since
you looked at me. Good old Bare Naked Ladies. That was the name of that group from the 90s. That's the name of the band, Bare Naked Ladies.
Bare Naked Ladies.
Yes, Bare
We're
Naked
not
Ladies.
being inappropriate.
That is the name of the 90s band that is still going to this day.
They were inappropriate.
were.
We are just quoting. We're just,
Yeah. I think the true story behind it is they realized like people would come see their show.
If they go, that's
Isn't that great?
Because it's like, hey.
The flyer says Bare Naked Ladies.
8 o'clock tonight, Bare Naked Ladies. Really? Wow.
That's like naming your band Free Beer. You know?
Yes.
Anyway, it's been. Have you ever heard that song?
Never.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. I wish I knew what happens after that.
And we know what my new band's going to be called, right?
What's your new band called?
Sans fromage.
Sans fromage. That was such a pleasant discovery. Should we give a little backstory as to why we are saying sans fromage?
Yes.
We have this cafe that's right below our building. It's it was, for years, it's been a place that we've loved to go to get their food.
Yeah, I'm canceling it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll understand why after this. This place was can I say the original name?
Yes.
Okay, Lovebirds.
We liked the original
Yes,
cafe.
Lovebirds was a
lovely.
charming little place that we would go get some sandwiches and salads and soups and little bakery things, and it was very nice. Coffee break.
Yeah.
Nice little vibe in there. Well, Lovebirds at this location is no more. It's a new owner. And they've changed it.
Is it rude of us to?
We're not going to say what it is.
Publicly cancel them. I want to privately cancel them.
We're going to
publicly
So what we're going to
cancel them.
say is this new place just so happens to be a French.
It has a French name.
Has a French name.
They about the bakery.
And we're a little frustrated with the changes. That's all we're saying.
Tried their baked goods, by the way. And while the thing I said to Veronica is they may be doing a good job of following the YouTube tutorial when they make their baked goods. But
there's a guy in the back with a YouTube video.
But they taste like butthole.
Really?
They're so bland.
Yeah, a little dry.
French food is not bland. They can say a lot of things about French food, but it is not bland.
That is the official Noel Carroll Yelp review, by the way. This is not Biofriendly Podcast. That's his personal opinion.
No, it's exactly. I'm not publicly canceling this business.
No,
it's
you're
not
just saying
appropriate.
you're frustrated with this business.
Privately? Like I haven't asked either of you to stop going because apparently their Cobb salad is dynamite. And so I want Veronica to be able to enjoy the Cobb salad. I want you guys to do that. But I personally they're dead to me.
I am going to support you because I'm really frustrated with how expensive the food became. And the
Tell
thing
them
is,
how much your avocado toast was.
I got avocado toast, guys. It was $13 before tax.
Unbelievable.
Before tax.
Veronica also gets a discount because if you notice how everybody who meets Veronica falls in love with Veronica,
Yes.
male, female.
This is true. Wherever we go, whoever you are.
Non-binary.
Yes.
Everyone.
They fall in love with Veronica. She's got charm for days.
It just flows out of her. She's
can
just
hear
a
it.
walking charm machine.
You can hear it. She's a laughing charm bracelet over there.
She's a laughing charm bracelet.
Yeah, she is. And so
maybe a charm anklet.
Both.
Yeah.
They loved her in the previous place, and then the people who've carried over love her as well. She wins people over, so they'll probably help her out.
So they give her discounts.
But
Her
a couple
avocado
of-
toast is like $8.
Couple of dingbats who've been podcasting since 1823. They're like, nah,
you guys are old,
crusty old white dudes. So they just
and we're white. That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Strike two.
But
and male. We're out.
Oh,
Strike 3.
just the worst. But
Old white males.
They're like, get out of here.
Could anything be worse?
Could anything be worse? But they their prices are a bit much. So we were making
middle-aged white males.
Yes, we're not old. We're 32.
We're 32 years old, for God's sakes.
We've made this painfully clear.
Yeah.
So we have been frustrated with those things, so we were joking. Noel used to have a signature breakfast sandwich, which was
so much the sausage and egg croissant, no cheese. I know, cheese is great. cheese is the best. Everybody loves cheese. Cheese is wonderful. I get it. I even like some cheeses.
Yeah.
I do. I love pizza.
People go to church on Sunday to celebrate Jesus.
They do. cheese is crazy. So I do love some cheeses, but other cheeses are just a little strong. I'm a sensual eater. I eat based on my senses.
Pungent.
I like that when I smell, I like to like really let the sense of food come in. So things that have really pleasant scents are my favorite foods.
Yeah.
Things that have powerful scents tend to overwhelm me.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I get
So
it.
if the cheese is too powerful or the fish is too powerful or whatever, it overwhelms me.
Yeah.
But I do like the milder versions of both.
Right.
To be fair with everybody. Also,
fair.
I'm beginning to feel medium about avocado. I'm getting there.
Medium
I'm
avocado.
medium.
Okay.
I'm getting to medium. I like the texture.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But your sandwich. is
Yes,
what-
my sandwich. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody. The Biofriendly Podcast is a very important environmental topic we're talking about here.
Tangential, but worth it. Our oldest tag.
I liked this sandwich so much that it became known because I always say the phrase, the world is your oyster.
Right.
Right? Which is an idiom that everybody knows means that, and the world is whatever you need it to
whatever
be. It's
you need
yours.
it to be.
You own it. It's yours, right? So I would say that, and then Veronica, being the charming monster that she is, would say, well, but for me, the world is my jumbo shrimp.
Right.
Because she prefers jumbo shrimp to oyster. Not a big oyster lady.
Yeah.
Right.
But she loves jumbo shrimp.
Which made me just think, well, that's adorable. That's
And you should
that's
change
great.
it,
I
the
should change it.
phrase.
So I would always say the world's your jumbo shrimp.
Yeah.
And then I started saying the world is my jumbo shrimp, but that doesn't make sense because I like jumbo shrimp. Don't get me wrong.
But
it
the world,
is great.
But the world is not your jumbo.
But I wouldn't say the world's my jumbo shrimp. And then she said the world is your sausage and egg croissant with no cheese.
and that's
Which again, when you're as charming as Veronica, that you hear that long phrase.
it's adorable,
and you're
you
just
go,
like, oh
"That's
my God,
perfect."
this is why everybody loves Veronica.
This is why everybody loves Veronica. So it became a thing that we said all the time.
All the time. It's like, no, the world is your sausage and egg croissant with no cheese. That long.
Yes.
That amount of time to say what was just used to be oyster is that long phrase.
Yeah.
But that's how much I enjoyed these sandwiches.
Yes.
Okay. So first the place changes and they up the price from what was a reasonable $11, which I still thought was crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's not that much stuff.
It's not that much.
Anyways,
It
but
should be that
I lived
expensive.
with it. Inflation. They're trying to run a business. No big deal.
Right.
Now they're saying $15, and I'm like, I can't. I get children.
Yeah.
I can't be paying for this kind of. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I thought, if I do it less, maybe I can get away with like once a month. I'll have one of these, right? Mm-hmm. So I go down to have one of these, and you know what they say to me?
What do they say?
Oh yeah, we don't serve that. We don't serve that.
serve that
It's like, what do you have? Like, oh, well, we can give it you with ham. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not the same with ham, is it? I didn't order it.
Is it?
I didn't order it with
Is
ham.
it now?
I was just like that. I was very rude. Actually, what I did is like, oh, really? That's what I was like, really? There's no way to maybe figure it out. I've come here all the time, from the past. I'm sorry, new owners, new man. We don't make that anymore. We're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, well, I just have one your croissants then. I guess those are supposed to be pretty good. You're a bakery. You're French.
Right. French bakery.
And then we all heard my review of their croissant.
Mm-hmm. Not very good.
Yeah, so I was...
So then we told him he probably just wasn't ordering the sandwich right because it wasn't in French.
Right. So Jacob looked up how to say it in French. And it was...
Thank you. It was croissant.
Croissant.
Saucisse.
Saucisse. Yeah, that's it.
Oeuf.
Oeuf, that's an egg. Croissant. Saucisse. Oeuf.
Sans fromage. So that is without cheese. So
and I just thought, I thought without cheese in French is so much better.
And that's when
sans fromage. And
Noel
since I'm
said-
always saying no cheese on the burgers, on the sandwiches, on everything almost, because those cheeses are a little too pungent for me.
Yes.
I was like, my band should be called Sans Fromage.
And there you have the story. That's why Noel is going to start a band called Sans Fromage.
I love that it takes us 6 hours to do anything.
So good. It's so good. By the way, I know I feel like the headphone volume is loud. Is it killing you a little bit?
Yeah, there's a loudness to it. It's
Is
all right,
it
but
killing
hey,
you a little bit?
you know what? My ears have been ringing since 1983. So what difference does it make if they keep ringing a little more now?
I took it down a little bit. It's less harsh now, right?
Yeah, well, this is
There
nice.
we go.
This
There we
is-
go.
this
So
is-
so
This
unfortunately,
is Sex on the Beach, the drink.
It's
not
been.
the act.
So the headphones were loud.
I tried to do some ASMR with my water. I don't know if it came through. I hope it did.
I'm sorry. I was moving.
No. I did that. It was perfect. You came in just as it was ending.
So it was meant
perfect.
to be kind of a, we're coming out of Jacob changing the knob, like it's coming back from break, and it's like.
Yes.
Okay, lovely.
That was the goal.
Love it.
Hopefully it came together. I don't know if it did. The other little piece of business before we start.
Piece of business. Get down to business.
Is I was in fact correct when last week I started talking about something that I knew I really didn't know about, but I thought it's a podcast. It's fun. It's funny. I'm just going to go. And if we remember, I opened it with Kevin's going to kill me because I knew I was in trouble before I even started. But it's the show. We just talk out of our butt. Yeah. So I'm going to make a quick correction. I'm not going to do a full correction today.
Yeah,
partial correction because I called Kevin last minute way too late while he's at work, and so he obviously couldn't answer. Yeah. So Kevin, the phone call you got in the middle of the day, I apologize. Literally, that was like a few minutes ago before I recorded the podcast. Yeah. I sent him a text.
Yeah, because you were like, I'd love to know what the correction.
I was like, Kevin, about to go on the podcast. I probably should tell them exactly how the whole of the space station works to stop things from pelting through.
He said. So he texted us both, and he said he loved the episode and he would not kill you. But he said you guys could use a little bit of help. A little help on your understanding of MMOD or whatever it's space debris, whatever it is.
Yes.
And so he works in this. This is his job. So he's well versed. And he said we didn't do a terrible job. He said, look, you knew more than 99% of the people of the world with your research, but there were some facts.
But it would still be embarrassing to the people he works with because they all know exactly how it works. So they're like, you're letting some a-hole go on a podcast and call it a pillow?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not a pillow.
Yes.
It's not a pillow.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna go. I'm not gonna do the correction now because I want to get all the data from Kevin exactly, and I want to explain it clearly so you can know how it is. It is an absorption system.
It's an absorption system. Right. But to be fair, you were doing your best. We are Bill Nyeing up here.
A little bit.
We're explaining.
We're not scientists.
We're not scientists. You don't work in outer space. And so
I don't. I went to visit my friend at NASA, and he mentioned something in passing that I was interested in, and then I was on to the next thing, and it was like 4 years ago.
Totally.
And it was I didn't follow up.
So,
a little rusty.
So I'm going to say, to be fair, you're trying to explain in a very short window of time to an audience that is not well-versed, and we're not well-versed. Yeah. But like, hey, isn't it interesting to know that what you would think these crafts in space
a concrete
is like
solid hull
that is the strongest material in the world. You realize
that's not how they do it.
That's not the case, that it has to be able to take a hit and survive.
Yes.
And the only way you could
slow
communicate
down the thing and stop it before it gets inside the hole.
The only way you could communicate this is you kind of had to give a very quick example of something that would do that. And you're like, like a pillow.
Right.
Like a pillow.
Right. It's not a pillow.
Yes.
And I want to tell you exactly what it is, but I don't want to do the same thing twice.
Yes.
Where I talk out of my butt, and then Kevin has to yell at me 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to wait until I talk to him, get all the data. So the retraction is we didn't get it exactly right.
Yes.
But we will get it exactly right for you next week.
Well, let me tell you, and I'm going to say as the last thing, and then we will get to our topic.
Our topic?
We will get to our topic.
We have a topic this week.
We do have a topic this week. But I'm going to say, I think that's the challenge of education, right? Is that if you do want to learn more, you'll pursue and learn and understand things more and more, and you'll get a better understanding of what the science is behind it.
Right.
But oftentimes, just learning a little bit here and there is going to get people interested in being like, "Oh, really?" And then they'll start. So you sparked a few future. What are those, astrophysicists?
Astrophysicists.
You sparked. They were like a pillow, and then they found out you were not right.
Not right, but they did see how it worked because they looked it up and like, oh, but I get what they're doing though.
I get what that gets.
That's the hope. And this also is another. Let it be a lesson to all of you that we know a lot of things, but there's also like
a lot that we don't know.
Man, there's we're trying a little bit here. We are trying to entertain at the same time.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we get stuff wrong. I try whenever I get because we get the emails and the annoyed phone calls about like that's not how it works. Yeah. And we try always to correct when we're told you didn't get that right, or to look into it further. So please don't hesitate to be like, Noel, I think you're wrong, because I definitely don't want to be wrong. I don't want to tell people the wrong thing, but I do want to get people interested and excited about science and about the environment and about math and about things that I think people don't these days get to be as excited about because, it's not in the forefront of sociability.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's a good job. And Kevin said, it's fine.
He's not killing us.
He's not killing us.
But he is going to give us the information.
And we'll come back. We'll come back with the details, the stats.
Kevin is a beautiful man.
He is. He's wonderful. He texted us right away and he said he loved the show. It was great. So and I think he was thrilled that we were talking about him. He said he was happy to be a part of the episode.
Well, he does a cool thing.
He does.
It's just a cool thing.
It's a cool job. Yeah. I brag on him often.
He's just
often.
This is a guy who you got to understand how cool the space station is as a concept, as a cooperative idea, right? That you're getting multiple countries that work in space, that do things in space, that don't like each other, that in some regards are literally in a proxy war with each other. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that publicly, but like we all kind of know that's what's happening, right?
Right.
So like up in space, they're hanging, like they're together.
Hanging out.
The Russians and the Americans are up there together, probably pretending publicly like, I'm so mad at you, but actually they're friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'd love to know how that dynamic really goes down up there.
Because it's an international space station. It's like, it is one of those things. It's one of the things I love about space is it's an area where I think to some degree we all agree that we're not going to figure it out and survive it if we don't sort of work together.
We have to work together.
To some degree, it's us versus the universe.
Yeah.
It's the one thing where we're united.
Yeah, very different than when it started, the space race. It was like, who's going to get there first? Right. Now it's like, well, we all got there, but can we all work together now? That was really hard.
And there's just a lot more cooperation. I think because it's led by scientists, because scientists in general, like their goal is just to learn more and figure out the next thing, and they do that a lot better when they cooperate and when they challenge each other, when they push each other, which I think is a complaint I think that people have had recently about people who aren't people who are taking science for political purposes. This is not a hit on one side or the other. This is just a general thing that's been happening, I think, a lot, particularly with the advent of social media and becoming popular and becoming cool, right?
Yeah.
Is militarizing science a little bit the way sometimes you see religion get militarized.
Yes,
a little bit.
Absolutely. Using it as a weapon to fight a battle against a side.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas most people who are just want to learn the thing and understand the thing, it's a lot less. Not that it isn't competitive, it is. You want to figure it out first. Like they do race. It's totally competitive.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of cooperation. Generally, while a scientist might be angry that somebody has peer reviewed their paper and found something that's legitimately wrong, they also are like, okay, let's get it right. Let's fix it. Let's get after it and fix it. And that's kind of the way of science. It's like you want to get it
Quest
right.
for knowledge, right?
As right as possible.
Absolutely.
And so that does lead, I think, with the International Space Station to a really brilliant cooperation and an idea that allows us to get out into space, stay in space, try things in space, experiment up there, find out how things work up there, and get better at being in space so that we can then expand out of our solar system and eventually our galaxy and the universe and learn more about where we live and where else we could live, what else we could do. And I just think that's the coolest thing.
Agreed.
And I love that Kevin is so intimately involved in that process. Like he is working with these astronauts all the time.
I know.
He keeps them alive.
So rad.
He's Houston.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. He is in Houston. When they say, Houston, we have a problem, they're talking to Kevin.
They're talking to Kevin, right? So cool. Yeah. So cool. So we'll one of these days we'll have to have like, I don't know, we'll have to have like Kevin, maybe we could get like a guest call in or something and have him tell us a little bit about what he does. I don't know. That might be cool. It might be fun. I don't know.
We'll ask him.
He's very busy.
He's
very
busy.
And actually, he probably is like, I can't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean?
Like he works for a very.
There's a lot of confidential stuff.
There's a lot of confidential
and they
stuff.
Probably have, when you're dealing with the government, they have spokespeople who are allowed to do this.
Yeah.
He's he's a scientist. He's not a spokesperson.
Yeah. So he'll probably give us the information and just say, just run with it. So
anyway.
If
we can get him on, we will. Maybe we'll just get him on to talk about like nachos. Because he can talk about nachos.
Kevin wants to talk about nachos.
He can talk about nachos. He can talk about the Whataburger we had. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was very good. All right, well, let's get down to it. That was a cool recap of last week, and but this week
on the Biofriendly Podcast,
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea?
I have an idea.
Do you have an idea?
I do.
When you have an idea, what happens?
You come up with something and do a thing.
A light bulb appears over your head, right?
Oh, sorry.
Well, guess what, guys? Those bulbs are about to be gone ever.
Oh, no. We're replacing the light bulb again?
No. It's just, you already know that incandescent bulbs, the classic drawing of what you'd see in the cartoon of a light bulb, the bulb that we know, the incandescent bulb, exactly. It was already about a year ago, the legislation went in that was like, we got to cut this bad boy out. We've already figured out light bulbs that do better.
Did you hear that filmmakers have been like buying them all up?
Yeah. So
because filmmakers are like, yeah, I know. The other one's better for the environment, but the light quality of the incandescent bulb is really,
it's warm.
It's really good. I like it. Like there's a certain light quality they want.
Yeah, and so that's the thing is that I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn I saw it, and then before the podcast I was looking, but I think like as of August 1st, like we're talking next week, that's it. Like you're really not supposed to be able to get them anymore. They're not available anymore. So this is the classic incandescent. This is the Thomas Edison invention that we've been using our whole lives. The rounded shape that you screw in like this, that's going
filament in the middle
away.
And then it's,
exactly.
Heat it up
so,
and it makes light.
It says the incandescent light bulbs have been illuminating American homes and businesses since Thomas Edison first unveiled them in 1879, are finally coming off of U.S. shelves. So if you want to have them for just memory's sake, I don't know, go pick up some because this is it. This is it. This is the end. Along with prohibiting the manufacture, import, and retail sales of most incandescent bulbs, the rules finalized last year authorized DOE, that's Department of Energy, to slap penalties of $542 on companies per each violation. Okay? So that could be, so penalties for having
542. So if you've got like a room filled with just a bunch of incandescent
if you're a
light
lamp
bulbs,
store,
yes.
If you're a lamp store,
oh my God,
you're a hose, dude. Switch out those bulbs. So the light bulb regulations, which DOE says could cut 222 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions, are part of a wave of Biden administration efficiency rules on home appliances ranging from gas stoves to consumer water heaters. Now, this is what we talked about before.
Yes. So just as a recap to everybody,
we talked about the gas.
Why are they getting rid of light bulbs? Why does it matter? Who cares? How does it? A light bulb does? You don't turn. It doesn't go. And then kick out a bunch of emissions.
It's not spitting out fumes.
Right.
And,
like, why are we so obsessed with light? Okay. So here's the thing about those. They use like 12 times as much electricity.
Yes.
They use a lot more electricity. So when you light one up, it's creating a lot of heat, it's requiring a lot of power, and that is just using more electricity. And how do we get electricity? Generally still by burning things.
Yes.
They're trying to get us to burn less things. So if you have a more efficient house that is using light bulbs that require less energy, then that means you're burning less things, which puts less carbon into the sky, which is better for the environment. That's why they're getting rid of incandescent.
That's why. And here's the thing. He just nailed it. Incandescent bulbs provide light by heating a filament with an electric current until it glows. That is how that technology heats a filament.
I just want to say, this is a thing about environmentalism that we have to always kind of point back to, and it's important, right?
Yeah.
It is better for the environment to heat a filament and make light than it is to burn kerosene or have candles roasting the place. It is better. That is a better option. It's easier, it's quicker, it's better for the environment. At the time when it came out, it was a good move.
Absolutely. Edison, way to go, man.
Yes.
Way to go.
So you got to think of where it was and where it went to. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the reason that I want to keep bringing that up is because I think sometimes we look at things that happen and we go, this was terrible this is a horrible thing that happened for the environment. This is awful. Oh my God, why would we do that? Okay. Plastic saved turtles.
Yeah.
Okay. We then overdid it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But in the end, you didn't have to go killing turtles or hunting elephants
and whale blubber, right?
Yes, exactly.
To
create what you were looking to create the materials you needed to make certain pieces of art or to make certain objects that were necessary for whatever else, right? Yeah. You could do it with plastic, and that was a really amazing thing. Plastic was at the time considered to be an environmentally fantastic creation because you were not going to kill so many animals.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. Amazing. And then it went nuts. And then now we have to do something about it.
Now we got to light everything up. Everybody needs light all the time. Think about think of the planet Earth when you see it from space and you just see light everywhere because we light up things. And I have this cool little thing that I highlighted from this other article, which I'll get into because this is more about where we're headed, which is kind of cool. What?
Sorry. So, to finish the last thought.
Oh, sorry.
We're progressing. The world is changing. It's progressing. And that means that some things are going to have to change, and we're going to get better and make better, newer things. Yes. And that doesn't mean that something is necessarily an environmental mistake or disaster. It's just part of progress.
It's part of progress.
That was my
part of progress.
Sorry.
That's your
God,
point.
You were trying to do a podcast, and I'm getting in the way.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you stop interrupting me during my podcast. I don't know why I invite you on every week.
I have no idea why you keep bringing me back. I am such a pain in your butt.
So this is a great...
I said butt.
You can say butt.
I know,
you can say butt.
I guess I didn't say...
You...
Dang it. I did it again.
I did it again. As trivial as the act of flipping a switch and lighting up a room may seem, we've had to come a long way to have safe and reliable light sources. It is estimated that the first lamps were invented 70,000 years ago, consisting of hollowed-out stones or shells filled with an absorbent material soaked with animal fat that could be ignited. The Egyptians, on the other hand, used decorated ceramic vessels filled with oil, which provided a constant flame.
So are we hearing the theme here, right?
That's why I read
this.
We're
lighting things on fire.
We're lighting things on fire, and they had to figure out a new way to do it. And each time when they got to the oil as opposed to the fat, the animal fat, they're like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
We're figured out a new thing.
We're getting better.
Yeah. Candles were popularized during the Middle Ages, made of a tallow, animal fat, or beeswax, and could be burned in simple candlesticks and chandeliers. It was the late 19th century that Thomas Edison. So here we are caught up. I just saw that paragraph and I was like, that's a cool history to illustrate exactly what you talked about, which is it's progress. It's always progress. It's progress. We're figuring things out.
We're going to have a time, probably, where we're going to learn that there's something about the LED
that we don't like
bulb that is a problem. Now, we're going to learn about it because we're going to have so many of them. We're going to have so much because we keep using more. When something's convenient and something's better, everybody wants it. And when everybody wants it, we overuse it. And when we overuse it, we find out why it's a problem.
Yeah.
So we're going to discover that we can do better, and we're going to do better.
Yeah, absolutely. So it says...
just be ready for that. Your great-grandchildren are going to be like, I can't believe those monsters used LED
the LEDs, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, the classic incandescent filament with electric current until it glows. LED bulbs pass an electric current through a microchip which illuminates diodes. LEDs last 25 to 50 times longer than incandescent bulbs, according to the Department of Energy.
I don't agree with that statement at all.
You don't think they last as long?
No, I don't. That's an effing lie.
Well, here's
only because of experience.
Yes, it hasn't worked for you.
We keep being told that this thing is going to last you up to 11 years,
and it's not happening.
And if it's going to last you up to 11 years, then you should probably say at least. Let's give me the at least number.
At least.
Because generally, I'm finding that I'm replacing these LEDs. We're not a crazy family that goes around, just willy-nilly.
You are a crazy family, but you've never been willy-nilly.
Yeah, we've never been Bill Nilly?
Bill Nilly.
No, they go like every 2 years.
You think so?
I think maybe 3. And so we got a couple that maybe last 4, which is still better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah.
Still significantly better. And they use way less electricity. I'm still pro the movement. I just think that they're lying.
Yeah, it's possible.
It doesn't last as long as
it's possible.
They say.
And so,
or they are really giving you the best case scenario and pushing everybody to think that it's that. It's probably more what it is.
It's probably under the testing circumstances they tested it, but the test wasn't a real world test. You know what I mean? Like the testing for 11 years was like, oh yeah, well if it's done like this, it's like, well that's not real. That's not how the bulb is going to be used in the real world.
That's not how my kid is in the house,
right?
Yeah.
Like I'm the dad who comes and it's midnight and I'm like, why are all these lights
Shut
on?
off the dang lights, right? Like in real world scenario. And by the way, if someone were to tell you, I'm going to give you a light bulb that's going to last like 3 years, 4 years, I'd still be like, holy. Really?
Heck, that sounds
That's
great.
Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they're doing. I will give you that 100%. I'm definitely getting that.
Yes.
I would be agreeable to that statement, but stop telling me 11 years.
Well, I've got good news for you.
Please give me good news.
Okay.
You can see how just
I know.
frustrated.
There is, so first, before I get to the good news, I'm going to say roughly half of American households use LEDs in 2020. So we're halfway there.
Hey.
Like Bon Jovi says.
Oh, living on a prayer.
Yep,
absolutely.
But there is a family, you may have heard of them before. They got the last name Dyson.
Andrew Dyson Clay?
Andrew Dyson Clay. He's like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
So,
British. You mean the suction people?
Yes, the suction people. Yes. They're wicked smart, those Dysons.
They're pretty wicked.
So the dad passed along this company, the Dyson brand, to his son. So Jake Dyson has created a light bulb.
Jake Dillon?
Jake Dillon.
He also does vacuum cleaners?
Hey, Jake Dillon sang that song One Headlight.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
There you go.
This whole time.
With one headlight, hopefully LED for environmental purposes. So he created a new model of the LED.
I'm sorry.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
Great song.
Wallflowers?
Wallflowers. Yeah, they had a couple of bops.
They had some bops.
They did.
And everyone's
Absolutely.
like, oh my God, Bob Dylan's son's okay. And then we never heard of him again.
Jacob Dylan wrote some really great songs. He really did.
Yeah, but where is he? How come, what happened? Like, how come he never got more shots?
I wish I had kept up on my Wallflowers, but I know that they're revered as like being a really great band.
They
for
are
the
a great
era.
band.
Yeah, but I just don't know if they're still going. Okay. And shame on me for not knowing that about you, Jacob Dylan.
If only somebody on this podcast was an
music.
internationally recognized music expert. God,
if only we could get one. If only we could get one.
Why, God, do we not have that person on our podcast?
Veronica, can we put the feelers out for somebody with those very niche qualifications? So this guy, Jake Dyson Lighting, he founded his own company off from his dad. So his dad worked on suction. He's like
suction and blotion.
Yes, and he's a suction and blotion, which we covered last week in the podcast.
Because the hand thingies at the airport, yes, those are Dysons.
Those are Dysons.
So he likes to suck and he likes to blow.
That's right. But Jake Dyson started focusing on lighting, and so one of the reasons why LEDs will degrade is like even just like an incandescent bulb is it's always about the heat. It's about the heat. If something has to get hot, it degrades the ability for the light to produce. So when they're saying up to 5 years, 11 years, whatever it is, it's once the heat adds up, the light might still continue working for a while, but it's not going to be the same intensity. It's going to, like the thing about a lot of these bulbs, they don't burn out like the classic kind. They just stop being very strong bulbs. Yeah. And so you have this room, and you're like,
"Why is this so?" After.
Huh? I mean, probably, yeah. But you'll probably notice a lot of the times, like, is this room dim for some reason? And it's because the light just the heat over time has worn out its ability to function at 100%. Right.
Which on an LED happens slowly because it doesn't require anywhere near as much heat.
Exactly. And that's why it was such a huge improvement. So he invented, this is from a couple years ago. This was actually back in 2016. They invented this thing called the CSYS as well as the Q-beam, which is an overhead lamp. According to Dyson, both lamps rely on light-emitting diodes, LEDs, which are light sources with a 2-lead semiconductor. Unlike incandescent and fluorescent light bulbs, which release light and heat in all directions, LEDs emit light in a specific direction, which utilizes the light energy more efficiently. But there are heat pipes which channel away heat from the LEDs and dissipate it out of the room. So that was one of the things that he discovered was he could make bulbs that the heat escapes from the chamber. It's pushed away. And his testing says 40 years or over 350,000 hours of full brightness.
Yeah, that's 10 times as long. Yeah, because they're supposed to have 35,000 hours usually.
Yeah. So wow. that is... 350,000.
No, but I'm saying that's 10 times what a current one would be doing.
10 times. So he's already created this business, and I think that the Dyson lamps are very specific to what their technology is and probably something that will start to hit the mainstream. But more and more companies are coming along and saying, okay, we're making LEDs, but we need to find ways to make sure that the heat escapes, and whether that's something at the base of it that lets the heat come out, but they're working on that.
They're probably using suction
and blotion.
I
love it.
I love that word that we invented.
I do too. I love that you invented it. But I came with fun stuff too, which is
we don't do fun on the podcast, Jacob.
You're right.
Cancel that.
No fun.
I don't want to hear anything to do with this.
This is about where are we headed.
Werewolves?
Werewolves.
I'm in.
Werewolf.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. So,
what a movie.
This is talking about where we're headed with the future.
Okay.
Of illuminating things.
Where are we going?
So LEDs are becoming the norm. Mm-hmm. People are working on getting the heat away from them. We're going to make a light bulb that'll last Noel's house more than 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe. So if he says 40, you'd be happy with a 20, right? A good 20-year bulb. 20-year bulb.
Here's my expectation.
Okay.
My expectation is that my apparently just light destroying family, I guess that's what it is.
Have you met my light destroying family? We're here at the park today. Yeah. This is my light destroying family.
Yeah. You see that sun up there? We're gonna burn that thing out. So no, my expectation is if they're saying 350,000 hours, and I'm currently getting average of 3 years, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what you're getting.
Then I'm gonna expect. They're saying 40. I'm expecting 30.
30.
So I'm expecting.
So that's a pretty good run.
Even with my family.
That's a bulb.
Who destroys light.
At 32, that means that you won't have to change that bulb.
I'll be dead.
Until you're 32, because we don't age.
Until I'm 32 years old.
Yeah, because we don't age. We don't age.
No, I'm actually never going to die. We've discussed this.
We have agreed that, I don't know if we've mentioned it before, but Noel and I are what you call Highlanders. And we've agreed that we don't have to do that whole there can be only one thing. We made a pact like a couple thousand years ago. We're like, we don't have to cut each other's heads off, right?
No, we're not going to. We're not into this.
There doesn't have to be only
Prove
one.
to me there has to be one.
Yeah.
Just, like a Mr. There has to be one. Where are you? Like everybody tries to cut off our heads.
Exactly.
We cut their heads off.
But
that's not because we don't want them to be Highlanders. It's because they're trying to cut our friggin' heads off. Which is rude.
Write that down.
I said friggin', didn't I?
Did you? I don't know.
Check the tape.
Okay.
Check the tape.
Okay.
Check the tape. They're trying to cut our heads off. So we cut their heads off because otherwise they're just going to keep coming at us.
I love that Veronica and probably so many of our young audience are completely clueless as to what this tangent is about. There was a very, very famous, it is a cult loved, like if you go to Comic-Con, there are people that dress and adore this film. And there were a couple sequels. But the original was a really big deal.
It's a movie where everybody in the film is Scottish except for Sean Connery.
Exactly.
Who's actually Scottish.
It is a film called Highlander.
Yeah.
And Highlander is about that there are certain people born in the world that are immortal. But in their lore, there can be only one.
Right.
Like apparently there's this event coming called the Quickening, and if there's more than one Highlander, then the world is doomed. So it has to come down to one Highlander left. And so the rule is the only way you can kill another Highlander is to cut his head off, his or her head off.
Right. So some Highlanders have died by accident.
Yes.
They drove their car too fast into a truck.
And then, whoops,
and their head fell off.
No more Highlander.
Yeah.
But if you don't get your head cut off, you live forever. You live for thousands and thousands and millions of years, whatever.
To live forever.
I loved that movie so much. I was a big fan of Highlander.
It was a good movie.
That's why we were riffing.
I watched many sequels just because I loved the first one so much, even though they were fart.
They are not great. Yeah. At least I don't remember. I only think I saw Highlander 2. I don't think I saw Highlander 3. But I remember once you take Sean Connery out, it loses a little bit of its chutzpah.
A lot of it's chutzpah. Most of it's chutzpah.
Most of it.
Yeah. He played an Egyptian, right?
Yeah, I think so. He had a pearl earring and he had like this kind of Zorro looking outfit.
It's so hilarious because it takes place in Scotland and they hire a person who can only do this accent no matter what's happening. Yeah. He always sounds like this. Doesn't matter the movie. He's not going to change. He's a Russian submarine commander, and he says, "Welcome to the Riddle Cuba." He's not going to change the way he talks.
Right.
He's just going to be Sean Connery the whole time.
The whole time, always.
But they said, "We'll make him Egyptian and have everyone around him be Scottish."
That's right. I know. It's like he comes out, he's like, I'm from Egypt.
I'm the Egyptian, and you're a Highlander. These are the rules.
That is so funny. Old Hollywood was so dumb.
Oh, it was.
They just would do these things all the time. You're like, he's Scottish, dude. Just make him Scottish.
Yeah. Like, no, he's James Bond. We got to put him in this movie. It's like, well, so make him Scottish.
Make him Scottish.
Like, no, the script says he has to be from Egypt. Well, you wrote it. Change the script. Like, well, they can't both be from Scotland. Well, then how about he travels to friggin' Egypt? Right. How about that option?
Make him a Scot who lived in Egypt for a season, had a loft.
Yeah.
In a pyramid.
Yeah. It just makes a lot more sense if I'm actually from Scotland.
I lived with Tutankhamun. I was trying to say. I was trying to say King Tut's full name.
Exactly.
You know who I'm saying. I couldn't get that word out.
Exactly. So, living forever, Highlanders. We're not cutting off each other's head. That was important for the podcast.
That was the most classic tangential but worth it I've ever had. Yeah. Okay, you've heard the name OLED,
yes.
right? When you're shopping for TVs. That is organic light emitting diode technology used in some TV models. Uses organic materials to create light, emitting light from a thin, flexible film rather than a bulb or tube. That's why you're getting these massive screens now, because they're able to produce light for a TV, and it's not breaking the bank in terms of how much energy it's sucking.
Yeah, well, there's two things you're trying to do with a television. You're trying to get you're trying to get each individual light source to be smaller.
Yeah.
Because the smaller it gets, the more of them you can fit in there.
Yes.
And you're trying to get them to use less energy.
Yes.
Right? Because you don't want the television to just be like a...
Yeah,
could you imagine if you're trying to do it with incandescent bulbs, it would be impossible.
Impossible.
It would be insane.
Your energy bill would be millions of dollars.
And the screen would have to be the size of a mountain.
Yeah,
like it would be impractical and impossible. So the more they can cut down the amount of electricity being used, and the more that they can shrink the size of the light source, the better the quality of your visual is going to be, because they can put more dots per inch.
Yep, exactly. So that's one. I just burped. I'm so sorry.
Bless you and your heart. Bless your heart. I hope that it released the gas effectively.
Highlanders burp too.
That's right. We got gas.
Yeah, there's that recent. Have you guys been seeing on the news in Vegas? They just built this giant dome structure that's all screen. Yeah. The whole thing's a freaking screen. So we live in a world now where when you would watch those futuristic movies from 20 years ago, where they'd be like, the world will just be screens everywhere. It's like, they were right, man. Screens are everywhere because they're getting that light source really, really small.
They were wrong about the floating skateboards.
They were wrong about the floating skateboards.
And the cool shoes that you press a button and they...
I know.
But they were right about the screens.
Yes.
And also about honestly, the hologram thing. I feel like with what they're doing with the eyeglasses and the not virtual reality. It's augmented reality.
Augmented with like the new Apple device.
I think and Meta. Those clowns.
Yeah.
Clowns.
Yeah, clowns. Morons. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of stuff they were right on, but no, we don't fire each other through facts.
No, we don't do that.
Like we did in Back to the Future
too.
Yeah.
So another promising development are quantum dots, QDs, which use nanocrystals to produce light in specific color, allowing greater control over the color output of lighting fixtures. But this has been used in medical applications and helps to identify cancer cells and targeted drug delivery. So they're using it in
This is something that Sloan was talking about years ago. I don't know if you remember this.
I don't remember this.
One of our filmmaking friends, Tim Sloan, who came in here and helped us sort out our
he was
sound,
our
by the
audio
way.
dude.
Yeah, Sloan, just shout out to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Wonderful guy.
Wonderful.
He was talking about this very technology and how they're speeding up exactly what we talk about, which is like the amount of resolution you can get from both the camera and also from the display device. Mm-hmm. But what he was saying was we're like 20 years away from them having so much resolution in the screens that you wouldn't have to have 3D glasses. You wouldn't have to have any special thing at all, because the visual would be so life-like accurate that it would fool your brain.
Whoa.
So your brain looks at it and the depth just is there because your brain's like, oh, well, I can see that's there. So when you take the photo or you take the video, it fools your brain.
Wow. Quantum dots. That's where we're headed.
Crazy, right?
It is crazy. Yeah. That's going to be the next TV that I have to buy. You know what I mean? It's like just when you think you got the right TV, they release you finally got the 4K, you finally got it, and they're like, yeah, no, we got 8K. And then as soon as you get the 8K, they're going to be like, oh,
do you know that I gave up?
You did?
I did. Do you know how many?
We always say that on the podcast. Give up. Give up.
Do you know what I have in my home? My kids hate me. Because
no, they don't. They love you.
They love me,
but
they would like an improvement in this area as a father.
Yeah.
I have. It's a 720p.
Oh, bless
television.
your heart.
It's a 7. This is like back. This was like back when that was the beginning of HD, before it was even 1080. Yeah. So, and I got that when 1080s existed because I didn't want to spend so much money.
Yeah, of course not.
And that thing is a tank. That thing is like,
it's not going anywhere.
That thing is like 15 years old. That thing is still trucking. It's still going and doing its job. And I'm just like, it works.
I love it.
What do I care?
What do you care?
What
do
I care?
What do you care? You can't see anything.
The kids care.
The kids are like, I want some high definition, Dad.
Yeah, people who visit to watch the sports game are like, this is missing something. What is wrong with
I usually can see every blade of grass, but in your screen, it's just green.
I can only see some of the blades.
It's green?
Yeah. So that's an admission. That was. I felt a little intimate, like I was giving up a little secret about myself.
You guys, that's what you get on the show. You get a little special, a little insight into Noel's life.
I'm letting you inside.
You want to know about Noel? You want to know about Noel?
Some of the things that I'd be embarrassed to tell other people, I'll tell you because we're so close.
He'll tell you. So the last thing that I'll say, as other people are inventing light sources.
Oh wait, we have a show still to do?
Yeah, we still have a show, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, all right.
There's also research exploring. I thought this was pretty fascinating. There's also research exploring ways to harness the light that is naturally produced by certain organisms, such as fireflies, bacteria, fungi, and sea creatures, as part of their metabolic processes.
Yeah.
Although this technology is still in experimental stages, it has the potential to revolutionize the way we light our homes in the future. It releases no carbon or heat and makes it safe and energy efficient. There's actually a place, and I thought this was fascinating. This is in the French coastal town of Rambouillet.
Sans fromage?
Sans fromage. So this is good full circle that we're coming back on the French stuff. So they have in this place cylindrical tubes emitting a turquoise blue glow. They've been installed to illuminate the waiting room of where they did their COVID-19 vaccination center. Wow. Basically, these are large aquariums filled with salt water with nutrients and the locally collected marine bacterium Alivibrio fischeri.
Wow.
The light is generated through...
Can you imagine if that was your friend?
Right.
And you had to remember the name to say all the time?
Alivibrio... Too common.
Hey, Alivibrio Terry Maneri. What? Come say hi to my friend Kate. I think you guys really get along.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The light is generated through internal biochemical processes that are part of the body's normal metabolism and require almost no energy to run. To turn off the lights, the air is simply cut off, interrupting the process as the bacteria switch to an anaerobic state where they do not produce bioluminescence. Isn't that fascinating?
Fascinating.
So they have this room.
Have they tested whether or not they like it?
I don't know. It's bacteria.
Because it's like, yeah, well, hey, bacteria have feelings.
I know. You know this and I know this.
You and I have met a lot of really kind bacteria before. Who have great heart.
You know who doesn't care about the bacteria's feelings? The French.
The French. As evidenced by their cafe downstairs that I want nothing to do with.
Sans fromage.
Sans fromage.
So there's a place where they literally light a room.
But seriously, you shut it off, they're going their anaerobic state. What if they're like, what if it's not like sleeping? What if it's like they go into an emergency torture state where they're like sitting there just wishing that they had oxygen, but they don't have any oxygen?
I think
because
that's
it's been sucked out of the room.
I think that's fair, and I think that's a battle for our grandchildren to fight one day.
You know what? You're right.
Because here's the thing.
Here I am talking about progress, and I'm getting in the way of this.
What I'm saying is, maybe they'll learn one day that bacteria. They make a Pixar film, and we learn that bacteria have feelings, and we've been shutting off their feelings every time we turn off the lights. We're like cutting off their oxygen, and it's torture. But until then, we got to figure out a way to keep making.
How am I going to keep my room lit?
I got to light the room
with no emissions,
and I need the emissions to be less, and I need to use less heat. So
I don't care about them. Yeah. They don't have feelings. They don't matter.
Look, we don't know.
We don't know.
But let our grandkids fight that battle.
They'll fight that
because they'll come along and they'll go like, "Can you believe the monsters of my Gen X / millennial?" grandparents /
Zoomers, they're in on this too. Don't you think you're out of this? You are now part of the problem.
You're part of this.
Yeah. You are in this. You are in this now.
You know what?
Every decision you make is now being judged.
You did this. You did this because you forced us to get rid of the LEDs.
Yeah.
So it's your fault.
Yeah. Everybody, we stand on the shoulders of the previous polluters and do our job to make it worse.
We are becoming good old men because good old men blame everybody younger than them.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the grand goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So we're on our way, buddy.
Yeah. It's the only upside to getting older, which we're not doing.
No.
Because we're Highlanders.
But we're going to still blame. We have to fit in.
Yeah.
We have to fit in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people will be like, those guys aren't aging.
I mean, people are wondering why our show has been on for 200 years.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. And so what we do is every couple years.
We've been 32 for a very long time.
And we pick on the younger generation for messing everything up.
Yeah, we used to laugh at those young boomers.
Yeah.
And those baby boomers.
Remember we used to laugh at those kiddos.
Oh, free love.
Thinking you're so important.
Drugs.
Yep.
You idiots.
Buying up all the homes. Sitting on them forever.
Creating financial systems that benefit a tiny portion of the population.
Right.
And not informing the rest of the people of how to take advantage of it.
Those classic boomers.
You boomers.
Getting a few jabs here at the end.
So wait, we complain about older people too?
Exactly.
All right.
We here, when you're Highlanders, you complain about everybody.
I love the boomers.
I love them
the
too.
Zoomers. I love the millennials. I love little alphas.
Yeah.
I love the greatest generation.
I love you all.
I love the silent generation. I think they're all wonderful. They
all
all brought their own fire to the game.
Everybody's doing their best.
They did.
Well, not everybody.
And they will.
There's a lot of people
There's a couple people that don't do their best.
There's a lot of people.
There's definitely some people phoning it in.
I gotta be honest. There's a lot of people not doing their best.
Yes, but I'm not going to put that on a group.
No, and I'm going to say
that
if
is
you're
equally spread amongst everything that
Absolutely.
exists are people who don't give a. I did it again.
no, write that down. But if you're listening to this show, you care.
You care.
You do.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this show, you are like, I want to learn. I want to know what's going on, and these guys make me laugh. And Veronica's a charm bracelet.
Our highly specialized survey system has proven that the audience that listens to this show has an IQ that's 20 points higher than the average human.
Yes. This has been proven.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, you're smarter than everybody
You're
else
smarter
you
than
work
everybody
with.
else, so laugh at them.
Laugh and mock them.
Mock them. Use your intelligence to break them down in slow, painful, detailed ways.
That's what you have to do. Thank you guys for joining
Biofriendly
us.
Podcast.
Thank you for joining us on another yet amazing Biofriendly Podcast. Always good to be back with my friends here to talk about things that we learn about lights and where we're headed in the future. And then we do a little space recap.
Space.
But
I'm just hype man right here. I'm hyping you up. I'm going.
So thank you once again for listening to the show. We've been on for 200 years now, and we can't make this show without you, our fans, our audience, our support. So subscribe, share, make sure you're telling everybody about the Biofriendly Podcast.
Everybody needs to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are available on our amazing new Biofriendly Planet website. If you haven't checked out the new Biofriendly Planet, it is sleek. It is the Ferrari. It is a beautiful site.
I think the only way we can describe it is sans fromage.
Sans fromage. It's a sans fromage of websites.
That site is definitely sans fromage.
Yeah, there's no cheese on that.
I haven't seen any cheese on that site. Well, some articles may reference cheese,
sure.
but it's not the focus. It's basically sans fromage.
Sustainable cheese.
Yes, sustainable cheeses. Then we do.
But thank you again for joining us, and here begin our tags and see how well we can do.
Oh, God.
We have been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Bringing you top quality content since 1823.
Science without the stiffness.
Green without the groaning.
Inspiring fear and love.
This show is about patience.
Careful, you'll catch feelings.
Okay, so the two guys' names are Kerosene Guy.
Yes.
And Corn Dog Rogers.
You did it.
Have been having an epic battle in my head.
Yes.
For generations.
I'll take it.
Something like that.
You got both the characters' names. That's all that matters.
We're getting
in
there.
that one is that. Okay.
This just tells you. I'm kind of
No.
This just tells you how random we are in the show.
So
that
random.
The things that just come out of the head and then end up having to then be repeated. It's like, was that really something did I say that?
Yes, you said that. You said that.
What am I crazy? It's like I'm the kind of guy who burns out LED bulbs in like 3 years.
Exactly. It's not you. It's your family. It's your family.
Animals I live with.
This is the one that it hasn't quite connected. I got through my other tags. This one is not, it has not locked in on my brain. So I need this show will make enemies your friends. Oh, this show will turn enemies into friends. That's it.
I have a last one too. That's a really good one, but it's new. Yeah. I have no idea, Ronnie. I don't know.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
We are down.
To clown?
We are down with the hooey.
We are down with the hooey. Oh my God.
Down with the hooey.
This show's the best.
It is the best show. It's the best show of all time.
Oh my God, we are down with the hooey.
Down with the hooey. I'm gonna remember I struggle to remember mine because the first part is this show, which we had this show is a joke.
Yeah.
And then we had this show. We had another
This show is about patience.
This show is about
patience.
Yeah,
so this show, I always am like, where am I?
This show will turn your enemies.
This show will turn your enemies in friends.
And
then
it will.
we're about the hooey.
We are down with the hooey.
Down with the hooey.
Down
Down with the hooey.
Down with the hooey.
And
then Corn Dog Rogers and Kerosene Guy have been fighting an epic battle in my head.
Lifelong battle.
A lifelong battle.
But epic battle
Oh,
works.
that's it. And that would make it short. That would be more. See, I'm better when I improvise than when I try to learn.
But the fact that you got Kerosene Guy and Corn Dog Rogers with just a light pantomime from me of eating
just
a corn dog.
It was light pantomime.
Light pantomime. Yeah. With that, Veronica says,
happy nuggets.
Yes.
And stop and smell the flowers.
That's it.
The nicest part of the show is when Veronica has asked people to smell.
Absolutely.
It's so nice.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Stop.
Bye, everybody.